from The Walking Dead, and they've done a tremendous job on the show. They'll tell you a little bit about it. You can ask them some questions. With that being said, we have Michael Koske, who has been not only on The Walking Dead with the Crazies, following 100 Days of Catching Fire. And from Cantonment, Florida, Jerrad Vunovich was also in Catching Fire. All right, have a seat, gentlemen.
Tired.
I can't see people over here.
You guys want to come over here?
I didn't want to call you out. Hey.
I could probably pull this back a little bit.
Hey, wow,
There you go. Did that work?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I guess it's a Q&A. If you guys have Q's, then we'll give you the A's.
Well, you guys, can talk a little bit about, how you got there, what you did. Obviously, with you, I know how you got there. Facebook post, they were looking for skinny, masculine gentlemen, and there you were.
Yeah, they wanted emaciated people. A friend of mine sent me the text like, "Hey, they're looking for emaciated people. That's you." And I was like, you? I sent in my photos and all my sizes and stuff, and I literally hit send on the email. I turned around to tell a buddy of mine, and my phone rang. And I was like, "Who's this?" I answered the phone, and it was a production company. He's like, "We loved your photos. When can you be here?" I was like, "Tomorrow." And I've been there ever since.
And mine's basically the same too. They were looking for deathly skinny people.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, this is for me." So I sent
Everybody's got to look.
Yeah, I sent all my stuff in too, and it was the next day. They called me. Janelle called me actually, and she said, "When can you get up here? We need you to attend zombie school. See if you can pass it." And so the next week I was up there doing zombie school with Greg Nicotero and all the others they called out, and I apparently passed because I got on the show. So.
Could you give us a little idea of just what all goes on in the zombie school?
It's sneakily done as an audition, and you get called to zombie school, and that doesn't mean that you made it on the show. You'll come in there, and we watched clips of old zombie movies, and then we met some of the other actors, and then we started out on one side of the studio, and we would do our zombie walk across, and they pick people out and maybe work on stuff, and they locked us in a closet, and we had to break out of the closet. It was funny because there was another group of people sitting in the chairs waiting, and we decided while we were in the closet that we were going to attack that group of people. We busted out and went for them, and even Greg's like, "Don't eat the other guests." And then they made us break back into the closet. It was just a lot of wandering around, and they would throw a chair, and we'd react to the noise and go after it. Is that me? I don't know.
It's character building. It's electric.
Yeah. The thing is, I tend to destroy electronic devices. I was allowed, and I think I'm good.
Try this one.
So if this stuff doesn't work later, it's not my fault.
But yeah, it's secretly done as an audition. You think you're a lot of people do think they're going there. Oh, we've got it. They're going to teach us how to. No, they don't want to weed you out. No, who's doing the Frankenstein because they don't want that. They do want different zombie walks, and so they don't really teach you, slump your shoulders, tuck your head to the side, because they want it to be all different. They want, because the virus, I guess, if it's a virus, I don't know figure it out.
Yeah, they'll look for quirks. If you can bend your fingers funny, they'll tell you to kind of work on that a lot. Or
because the virus will affect everybody differently. Not everybody will react the same way to it. So they do want variation of different zombies walking around, but nothing too.
The one thing that they hate for us to do, and if you do it, Greg will single you out, and he'll make a scene kind of that stupid leg drag. So if you guys ever do that, do a zombie, don't drag your leg.
Don't drag it.
It's the worst thing. And Greg Nicotero hates it. So just remember, if you're ever auditioning for Greg Nicotero, don't do that.
What do you think has been for the both of you, what do you think has been your favorite episode so far?
Oh, jeez. The one where Daryl dies.
Oh.
You might just get mugged on your way out there.
I've told him so many times that I want to be the one that kills Daryl. And I would be the most hated walker. You can tell I'm not a Daryl fan. I love Norman, but I don't like Daryl.
I don't know if I have a favorite episode.
No?
constantly wait every week to see what's going to happen next. It's just like, yeah.
Now, you like favorite that we're in or favorite?
Well, just in general, and I figured, see who speaks up, and then I'll speak up. We'll just see who speaks.
I think my favorite that I've been in was the first time you see the arena in season 3. Yeah. And I think I liked it a lot. Well, it was fun, but they did me up like Flyboy from Dawn of the Dead. So I was like a special zombie that night, but they treated me like a rock star. And normally I'm like Michael on set, and everybody knows me, but I just showed up this day and they had wardrobe ready for me, and I had like a whole team of people that would follow me around. I had my own trailer. I mean, I was Mr. Koske that day, and they're rating I had Mr. Koske on the way to set, and I'm like, what is going on? I mean, they had a special room, because we were filming this old factory, and they had the bleachers set up with like the big globes that were on fire and stuff like that, and it was like really, really hot in Georgia weather. And so they had this room set aside just for me that I could go in, and it was like ice cold, and it was like you keep everything from melting, and then they'd rush me back out there, do scenes, and rush me back in there. And I had my own little craft cart in there with all these snacks on it, so I'm in the corner like shoveling food. We gotta go. I'm like, no.
Well, they just keep me out in the hot sun, let me sweat to death. I never got an ice cold.
Well, this gentleman had a question back here.
Where's Lori at?
Lori, Rick's Lori, hold on. She got eaten. It's such a controversy because
everyone thinks she's coming back.
Yeah, no,
like,
I was there today.
dead.
We did this scene, and my buddy Alex is a hater, and she's eaten. I mean, her hair was hanging out of his mouth, and they edited it really funny, so you couldn't tell that.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, she's not coming back. She is dead.
How many like if they like you as zombie, do they keep asking you to come back? Or
Yeah, I have been 42 walkers on the show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. If they like you, they'll keep asking you to come back, and if they don't, you won't ever hear from them.
And I've lucked out because there's like different levels of the walkers. There's the hero walker where we get all the prosthetics and contacts and dentures and stuff. Then you get the mid-grounds who get like the mask, or no, the mid-grounds get the airbrush,
And then you have the mask.
and then the mask is the way background.
In the back.
And it was funny, one time I got stuck in a mask because I had a really featured episode the day before, and they're like, you were here yesterday, we'll put you back somewhere. I still ended up like right in front of the camera, like, and the people that were up there were like horrible, like couldn't do anything so bad, and they ended up like pulling me up. I'm like, I'm in a mask, and like, I don't care, just do something. And so I ended up like right on the scene where we were attacking the RV as they're leaving the farmhouse, and I'm like right up there.
so do they have like a group of regular zombies, like you're part of the group?
Yeah, no, there's maybe about 15 of us that they'll use for all the feature stuff over and over and over and stuff. And is he there? Finally,
There you go. You boss?
How you doing?
All right.
Hey, how are you?
Dango, do again, gentlemen and ladies.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Walking Dead, and I'm sure he'll be happy to answer your questions too. He just finished eating somebody up.
It's not my fault I was late, just so everybody knows.
Yeah. Is that the static you want?
You know what? I'm going to give this one. We'll just leave it to you.
Thanks. Hello. How are you doing?
Good. Maybe you can answer, or maybe somebody else can. I've gotten a little confused on the timeline of the show. How long has it been now since the outbreak?
Honestly, we've kind of asked the same question ourselves. Is we don't really know like in between seasons how long it goes. So we've asked, and we've been told 3 months, 6 months, and I don't think the writers really know. They just said sometime down the line. So
Down the road. I'm trying to go by Daryl's hair growth, but
Rick's beard growth, and how big Judith has gotten.
Yeah. So.
Carl, too.
Yeah, Carl.
okay.
Yeah. His voice is changing. He was looking at his voice.
I'll be
Carl's grown up a lot since season 1.
Yeah, tremendous.
It trips me out every
That,
time I watch
he's
it.
getting faster. I used to be able to catch him. There's a couple scenes when we were right around the barn before they set the barn on fire when him and Rick ran by, and I actually caught him. And they're like, you can't catch him. Like, he was right here. So I could have saw that. There would have been no Carl stay in the house. I had
sir.
Just a quick question for you. We heard kind of their story of how they got into it. You know, like you were on the internet and saw something, and boom, bam, and you got your email back. How did you get involved?
I had started working on getting into the acting business and everything, and I did one other movie, The Change Up. I was just a little bit part of it, and that kind of helped network a little bit. And so I was getting casting calls, and I actually answered a casting call, and these guys will tell you they're very secretive about what they're doing, what show you're on. So I didn't even know it was going to be on The Walking Dead when I got on it, and actually it was a casting call for a mean bodyguard type person, and I was like, friends of mine were telling me to go ahead and apply for it, and I was like, mean?
That sounds a lot better than emaciated.
Like, mean?
His sounds healthy. Yours sounds dangerous.
So I went in and I got the part, and then I don't even know if it was like the day before that I was going to go down and film that I really found out that it was The Walking Dead, because it was the casting. I had the email with something to like our small town USA or something like that. It was really ambiguous, and up until that point I'd watched the show off and on because busy but my sons were freaks about it. So I was like, yeah, guess what? I got that part I was telling you about, and I'm going to be on that show you like, The Walking Dead. And it was like, Dead of the Year.
That was kind of the same thing happened with me, because all my friends were into all the horror stuff, and I never was. I never watched any scary movies, and I mean, now I'm friends with all the guys that were all these big, like, scary monsters and stuff. But everybody wanted to come over to my house and watch The Walking Dead, because I have a projector. It was like watching the movies. I wasn't even watching the show. I was milling about the house doing stuff. And then when they found out I got on the show, they're all like, "You don't even like scary stuff." And all my friends.
We watched afterwards. We watched The Talking Dead, and when they featured the in memoriam to the ones who got killed, the zombies who got killed. Any of those that were featured that got killed and had like names, do they recycle those people?
Oh yeah, I've been a few of those. Yeah.
You've been in memoriam?
Yeah. It's funny. One of my favorites, and it's actually Michael Rooker's favorite kill too, is when he first comes back, and Andrea and Michonne are in the woods, and they're watching the helicopter crash and all that, and Merle comes up behind them. I'm the one that comes up behind Merle, and I go to bite him, and he stabs me in the chin. It was like the coolest kill of the episode, and that's the only one they did not mention on The Talking Dead. I was like, really? I went storming into the set the next day going, "Hey, do you know who I am?" And, I've been all kinds of, like, my favorite was Prison Blues Walker, where the first episode of season 3, I had my head cut off and it was spinning off to the side, and they literally, it's sponge.
You guys seen, I was on it for The Talking Dead. It was, I was running out with a guy with a baseball cap on. My memoriam was long hair in the hat. They were real creative, but they did a meme about it that circulated for a while. It was hilarious, and they had a picture of, if anybody is a fan of King of the Hill, they did a meme of John Redcorn and Dale Gribble saying actual characters. And it kind of looked like us, to be honest.
How do you gentlemen feel about the phenomenon that it's become where, some people, the TV show came out, oh, it's going to be another zombie type thing, this, that, and all of a sudden, boom. I know in my household, I can't even go in the room because my wife will cut my head off. I don't even go in, I'm petrified of her, and she's like 200 pounds less than me. So tell me about that phenomenon of
I felt the same in the beginning too. It was like, when they first were talking about it, I was like, no, not another corny zombie, Dawn of the Dead, these kind of movies. Like, no, we don't need another one of those. But it's completely different than all the other zombie ones. It's more, it's a better storyline. It's more, what would you do there? Would you want to be with a group of people? Is that safer? Would you rather be by yourself, to where all you have to worry about protecting yourself and not these others? So it really just pulls the audience in and gets them to ask questions themselves. It's not just sitting there watching it. Like, oops, they died. Oops, no, it's like, ooh, what would I have done?
What I like about it is it's nobody is really safe either.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of other shows, and not just, you have your core group of people, and they're going to go through some crap sometimes. They're going to get in trouble. They're going to have stress. They're probably not going to get killed.
This gentleman has a question for you guys.
Yeah, just following up to what you said, I've been a fan of even the crappiest zombie movies for a long time. But you're right, they always, it's pretty much just like the outbreak, like what's going on the first 24 hours, 36 hours. And that's what's nice about the show, it's going on past that and seeing what would happen.
I think a big debate that I always encounter is the, well, it's too much, it's not enough action, it's not enough this, and I think the core of the story is more about the characters, right, and differentiating itself from the actual comic. I mean, what are y'all's thoughts on the TV show versus the continuity of the actual comic? I mean, do you think that you guys are doing something super stellar, or do you wish it was more like the actual book?
Well, I'm glad it strays from the comics, because if I've had fans ask, well, how come well, they even said, I don't like it because the show is different from the comics and the video game is different from both of those. I'm like, well, if it was the exact same,
then you would know exactly what was going to happen.
You would know everything was going to happen, but I like that they're kind of switching it up, and I think that's why they're talking about the spin-off coming in 2015, where it's going to be a completely separate group of people. It's going to be like not having anything to do with anything. It's just going to be their own original story, and so there can be nobody going, well, this wasn't in the comic book.
Right.
I get mixed feelings about it. Because I'm a big Wolverine Marvel comic fan, and
Oh,
when
hell
it
yeah,
comes
man.
out, I was.
Kudos.
Wolverine is one of the movies I've almost walked out on. I hated it.
Walking away from an explosion, you're like,
Yeah,
God
man,
dang
it's
it.
just he got his butt kicked so many times in the
Right.
first X-Men movie, and I was like.
Thank you.
But
Just
then
thank you for pointing
thank
that
you.
out.
I certainly understand though that I appreciated the comic books and everything, but yeah, if it was just page per page what the comic book was, who would really watch it?
Exactly.
You know.
Right. I guess kind of two parts. I have a girlfriend who had never seen The Walking Dead. She did a marathon weekend, like we did. And oh, sorry.
Just in case everybody back here can't hear.
And she went to see the movie World War Z first. So she was really kind of let down with The Walking Dead in the beginning, because the zombies in World War Z terrified her because they were so fast. And they turned so fast.
And we're slow.
Do you guys, do you guys get any of that reaction from people saying, how come you're not faster like World War Z, or?
Well, sometimes they ask why we don't run so fast, and we don't. You know, we're walkers. And in George Romero's world, which we're based on, we're slow moving, we're like decaying, decomposing. We're not moving so fast. We're not going to be sprinters, and nothing like that. So
Yeah, I don't even get how zombies can run fast. Your body's decaying. How is your muscle mass able to?
It's funny because one of our FX guys, Toby Sells, he actually worked on a movie, Dance of the Dead, and it was a great movie. It was so funny. It was kind of satirical or something. But the zombies were coming out, like they're literally like lurching out of the grave, like launching through the air and then taking off running. You're like, holy crap! That would scare me if I'm like just driving along.
It gives you a sense of being able to actually survive this. I mean, it's really.
With World War Z zombies, there's no surviving.
Yeah,
I would have gave up the movie.
It's almost too much.
I want to be a zombie in World War Z because you're better.
You're in better shape as a World War Z zombie.
And then,
Screw gym time.
do you find yourselves as human beings walking into like a store or a mall or something and saying, if it were an outbreak today, where would I hide?
Oh, I do that.
Or-
I do that all the
It
time.
changes your perception a little bit.
I have sometimes, the funny thing is all my friends are like, if it happens, I'm gonna shoot you first. Why wouldn't I be trying to survive too? I got no guys.
Yeah, but I did that when I'm driving. I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, I drive a jacked up Jeep with like this massive
Yeah.
steel bumper and a sticker stand, so if anything happens, I'm plowing.
You just say it.
Living my
Love
Jeep.
it.
I'm not a big zombie person, but I have a friend that has a gun shop in, near Six River, up Front Street. And she was telling me how people, people are apocalypse type people, that people actually are preparing
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
for zombies. I'm going,
There's zombie-proof
oh,
homes.
They really believe that this is gonna happen, and I'm going.
I met a guy that has like an old like missile silo that he's turned into a bunker, and he's got his bug out bags and everything ready. He's got one in his car, one in his house.
I mean,
Well, people think of zombies as like a mythical kind of thing, but in The Walking Dead, it's more like a virus. And even today, we don't understand all the viruses that are out there. Like rabies are transmitted through bites, so there could sometimes, not saying it could ever happen, but if it did, a virus could, build itself up to where it could be transferred by saliva and bites. And
well, yeah, we have, yeah, but.
Once that cooties, I got my cooties.
Jeff.
Yeah.
So would you be Painted Dead? I don't know, but would you be this crazy, ravey, mangy person trying to run out the streets and bite people?
Yeah, that movie coming out called The Cell. Anybody
Yeah,
read the
yeah,
book
yeah.
here? The
Stephen
Cell.
King's
It's
The
along
Cell,
those
yeah.
lines that it's something just that works on the brain function. And,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
You may see
Maybe maybe not decaying, dead body falling off. Chins.
All right, this young lady has a question for you.
Yes.
Have you ever asked or found out, or do you have any theories of how the zombie outbreak started to begin with?
On our show?
Yeah, on The Walking Dead.
Yeah, a lot of us have asked, and Robert Kirkman said that he didn't even really know. It was just it's something he didn't want to touch on. It just as a mystery that.
All right, I got one for you.
Uh-oh.
How do you feel when people react like insanely, like my wife? A few weeks ago, I'm working on something in my little office. I'm going to have a heart attack once again. My wife, the big person, 200 pounds less than me, screaming, "Kill him! Kill him!" The governor, what is the fascination with this cat? Now, I mean, I watch it from time to time, but on Sunday night, I can't even sleep in the same room as this woman anymore. Tell me about this and how people react to you guys about the show you're on when somebody that they hate so much like the governor dies.
No, it's crazy. When Herschel died, my 12-year-old daughter was the meanest little girl I've ever seen. She was stomping around, would talk to me. I'm like, I didn't do it. She's like ripping posters off the wall, slamming doors. I'm like, what are you doing? She's the sweetest little girl.
Yeah, people tell us all the time, well, y'all need to do this. We have no control over the storyline. We do what we're told.
I walk into places and people are like, were you the one that killed T-Dog?
He did. He really did. But I think it's amazing how emotionally attached people are to the characters and how well the writing and how well the acting has become. Because I'm going to share a story with you about when I got killed. I got killed in episode 15. Merle shot me and basically used me as bait. Shot me in the leg and I laid down in a bunch of zombies. I didn't tell anybody I was getting killed, including my family. In retrospect, probably not a great idea. Because I watched the show and they were all sitting there going, oh, yeah. And then I went down and everybody screamed and hollered. My son was at work and he didn't know that I got killed. And he started getting texts, dude, your dad just died. Right? Okay, so I felt bad about that. He called me almost in tears. I was like, hello? He's like, oh my God, you're okay. And I'm like, bad. So then I got killed. A few minutes later, everybody was like, oh, I can't believe you didn't tell us you got killed and everything. No big deal. My girlfriend's sitting there right beside me, okay. A few minutes later, Merle gets killed, and then Daryl comes in and has to put Merle down. She started tearing up and everything when Daryl, and I'm like, I just got killed. You didn't even shed a tear. Got mad at me for it, and Merle dies, who you hated the whole season. And you started to cry. So to me, that was just shocking how much attachment people have to it, even your loved ones.
Yeah. And another thing that's funny is, like, lately with Lizzie, everybody's favorite, love Lizzie now. Like, the poor little girl's getting death threats and stuff. And it's amazing to us how so involved people get that they forget the show. And
That's a little uncalled for.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah.
More than a little.
Yeah. It wasn't enough freaky. I got my latest box of 8x10s, and I opened it up and I was flipping through them, and there was 2 of her photos were in my box. And I was like, gah!
This little lady right here, guys.
How do you feel when you have all that makeup and you're the walkers?
At first it was uncomfortable because it takes a little while to get used to it because it's still wet and it's kind of drying. But afterwards, honestly, forget it's there, and then you're walking around and you have no problems until you go to eat, and then you have these dentures and these fake teeth in and this stuff going across your mouth. But it's after then you're in it for anywhere from 16, 18, sometimes 22 hours.
And not sun.
Yeah, and you forget it's even there. And they take it off, and then your face feels weird because you don't have all this stuff on your face.
Either one of you guys, because I wasn't in zombie makeup, either one of you guys ever have it on, not realize you have it on, walk past a mirror or something like that?
The very first time I ever had the makeup on, it was the highway scene out on the beginning of season 2. And they had like 150 people there, and we were so backed up that they're like, you can just go home and take it off. Just peel it off. Everything else that can come off was like alcohol-based, like use shaving cream and get it off. So I was like, I'm going to drive home in it. And then on the way home, I remember like, oh crap, I've got to stop and get gas. I I'm sitting at the gas pump, paying at the pump, and I've got my hoodie, which makes it look even worse. Somebody's like eyeballing me, just kind of looking, and I'm turning away. And then on the way home, I got pulled over. And I was like, seriously? Of all the times. And so I'm kind of sitting there just waiting for it. He taps on the window, I roll it down, and he's like, holy shit.
It's people like him, why there are people out there thinking this is going to really happen.
I was thinking.
Zombies are driving now.
There's a guy at the gas station that went
That will
home.
never know.
The cool part was he was a fan of the show, and I didn't get a ticket.
So we should ride around in zombie makeup from now on, right?
I would suggest it.
Not rural Georgia.
Yeah, not rural Georgia.
What's the one cast member y'all would like to kill?
Daryl, I already
Oh,
told you.
besides Daryl. Hey, Daryl. No.
I already told him about the episode where he dies.
Not that I don't like him, probably Glenn, just because that's everyone's favorite. I want to be that guy.
Yes,
I want to be that guy. Yeah, I killed Glenn. What are you gonna do? There's nothing you can do better.
I wasn't overly displeased that Andrea got killed. She has had so much poor
I
decision
might have shouted
making.
for joy when Lori passed away.
You know, my favorite kill though was the guy they called him long hair and hat.
You read a lot about actors and how they get into the zone, right? How they go to that dark place to become a villain or those type of characters. Do y'all have a prep that you do before you go out and start eating people, or is it just natural to you?
Honestly, it kind of comes natural when you're in makeup. You can't really help it. You find yourself walking around making noises and stuff. And they tell us not to make the zombie growls, but we're all like, seriously, how can we not make the noises? So you'll hear something go.
And also, at least we don't get a prep. It's just like, okay, go.
Yeah,
we're just gonna go.
Yeah. We're out there. They give us our spots. They kind of go over the scene that we're gonna do, and then they're just like, do your thing.
Okay, so this is kind of pointed towards Jerrad.
Okay.
I'm actually from Molino.
Okay.
So, how did it feel going from like a small town to automatically becoming in this huge set? Because I've been in a movie, but it wasn't released everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know how I felt. It was kind of weird at first. How did you feel?
Well, The Walking Dead wasn't my first huge set. I was on Catching Fire as well, which was these huge warehouses and all that. So my first huge set, I guess, was Catching Fire, because I went from Catching Fire to Star Wars Games to Walking Dead. From Catching Fire to Star Wars Games to Walking Dead. But yeah, going from a small town to into this huge industry, and basically just being thrown into it. There's no really like. You have to teach yourself, the do's and don'ts, what to say, what not to do.
Yeah, it's overwhelming at first, and you want to like just see everything and talk to everybody.
And you want to walk around set and just want to see, but now you have to stay in your place. It's cool, Hopefully I'll be able to do this, for the rest of my life. But it was really cool going from small town cantonment into big Walking Dead sets in Atlanta.
Going from small town Molino to California, I was like, this is a culture shock.
What were you in?
I did a feature film when I was younger called Chatterbox. It was released in California
I love Chatterbox.
and Indonesia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've heard about Chatterbox.
And a few commercials here and there.
We have time for a couple more. Go ahead, sir.
This is really going back to the beginning of the show. So when you first came in, your individual experiences and working with the actors that are on the show, was it difficult going into the show and playing your part, as a character in a universe where the George A. Romero never was made, where the zombie didn't exist, that whole world never existed, and now all of a sudden you grew up, the zombie thing is big, and now you're a character that had never heard of the zombie before. Was that difficult?
It honestly, it's really weird because nobody says zombie, and it's kind of weird for that to click in our heads. That why don't they know these zombies and what to do? And,
right. Why didn't they read the comic book beforehand?
They should have.
All the answers are right there.
Yeah.
Could y'all demonstrate being a walker?
I knew you were
You weren't going to ask, I was.
I probably couldn't. I guess I was out till 4 o'clock in the morning, so it's probably really.
We partied last night. But RJ Hattie is doing a workshop. I haven't heard what time. If anyone knows time, please tell me, because I have to be down there. Because I'm his model, and I'm pretty sure he's making me into a walker. Don't quote me, but I think that's what we talked about. So down there, I would have no problem doing it, but not.
No, it's a little embarrassing, but
When we're not in our makeup,
It's hard to
we look
do when you're not in
stupid.
makeup because you feel really silly.
Zombie school was frightening for me.
Do you ever get to hang out or converse with the actual stars of the show?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're nice people?
Yeah, they're so nice. Irony Singleton plays T-Dog, actually a close personal friend of mine, and I was devastated when he got killed. I was in the trailer when I saw his bust, and I was so upset.
I knew that the end was coming.
And the first time I was on set, I got to hang out with Norman and Steven, and mess with Steven's car, Norman's bike, and it was really cool.
Yeah, it's when there's a smaller scenes, there's not as many of us, then it's easier because we all just hang out together and we eat together. But when they do big scenes with tons of zombies, they kind of keep us apart because they don't want everybody who doesn't really know them just swarming in and like, hey, it's nice to meet you. Because then they get overwhelmed and they don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, there are a lot more. Every one of the cast stars I know, like I said, in a smaller setting, they're more than.
Yeah.
They love talking to people just as much as we do, and they just
It's
don't
cool
want
to see Andrew or Lauren, their voices.
Oh,
when
yeah.
They go
Oh, yeah.
off character into their British
Yeah,
accent.
so in between takes, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Okay, so I understand emaciation and everything, but why are there no fat or obese zombies?
There was the one well zombie.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
they're the slow ones that we catch.
Yeah. They don't last very
Yeah.
long.
But they're zombies.
No, because we eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everybody start running and see who we catch.
Now, for you gentlemen in the reoccurring roles, is it like a family atmosphere for you since you've been killed off? Has it helped you, get other roles?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been showing up on set every day. It is. It's just like coming home or coming back on like any other job. Everybody is a big part of the family there, and it is when you find out you're not going to be on it anymore. And everybody there, that day I got killed, I got hugs from everybody. Like, oh,
I never get hugs.
But yeah, especially when you see these people anywhere from 15 hours a day, they really do become close. I've made great friends with it, and I'm extremely happy that we've been able to have this experience in this television show.
It's just amazing to be able to hang out with Norman Reedus and get to go back home and tell him, especially I love rubbing it into my sons.
There are literally people out there that would kill to have to do what we do.
Yeah. And the good thing is, you get to be friends with so many people that when you move onto a different set, you'll see people that you know. Like we've worked on a few things together. Like we were both in the originals. It's been up for the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, if you get a chance to check that out.
Yeah, Carl's stand-in was just in Catching Fire.
Yeah, well, I was in Catching Fire. Need for Speed that's coming out. I'm in that. A lot of people are in the same thing. Yeah, if you got caught up, just the other night they re-aired the episode Thursday night where we had another guy, Jimmy, get killed. Or two daywalkers that we go out to cause a little bit of trouble, and then we end up missing, and they find us dead on the ground. And poor Dango, he looked so sad.
I was devastated. I'd like to see him survive one time.
I showed up on set and they had the makeup where I was killed, and he's like, "Don't you ever get to live?" I was like, "No."
Man.
All right, young lady. Here, hold on. I'll come to you.
Or yell
All right,
it
then
out.
speak it out. Shout it out.
He's
He's the most amazing person ever.
He is the
He's
funniest
so
guy.
nice and he's so down to earth and he picks on everybody. Such a great guy.
He's an amazing director, and the one episode where the zombies broke into Woodbury, he was one of the zombies.
Yeah.
He was hilarious to see him take a bullet to his
Yeah,
head.
but he has a vision. He has a vision. Knows exactly what he wants, how to execute it. He's the coolest. He gets the job done
I think
in the best way.
Yeah, the coolest part about it is he's a fan too. So
Yeah.
I mean, he wants it to look good and he loves the horror genre. He turned under Savini on Savini.
If he doesn't 100% like it, it just is not going to work.
Yeah, he came up and slapped me on the back today and he said, "Well, you had a good run, but the world's dying too, so you shouldn't be too bad."
Yeah, he's a great guy, but don't make him mad.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys have to sign disclaimers for week to week so you can't let anything out? Or then you really get the axe?
They are
so to speak?
seriously.
Yeah, like-
axe and fines.
Yeah, fines like when Sophia went missing, I knew way ahead of where she was, and I couldn't say it word, and it was driving me nuts because all my friends were like guessing where she is. Like, oh, you know where she is. She's gonna be live. They're gonna find her so and so. And when they finally like opened the door and she came out of the barn, all my friends were like in tears, and I was like, I totally knew. Like, I
one of the biggest things I remember someone, I guess it was Walker, tweeted the revealing of Michonne.
Oh yeah, it was one of the guys that was originally one of the pets. After that, they filmed that when they first showed up. He tweeted everything, and then he thought about it after. He said, "Oh crap, I better take it down." Well, one of his like 14 followers retweeted that. By the end of the afternoon, it was on like Wikipedia's front page.
Oh my God!
And AMC went after him.
I'm sure it's safe to say he's bored.
Yeah,
He's bored.
I know him. The fact that that same Walker has been played by 3 different people because they all have done something stupid.
It's
like
just
that.
crazy. I got a momentary, not at last, but one of the guys I was with the day I got killed was filmed down there in Sonoy, and we came up to eat lunch. There's a Sonoy restaurant down there, Zach Brown's place. Southern Ground.
Yeah.
Southern Ground. We went in there to eat, and we were still not cleaned up, but had a little blood here and there. And we walked in with me and 2 other guards. And they said, "Hey, you guys working on the set today?" And one of the guys said, "Yeah, he just got killed today." And I was like, "Oh, shut up." And, you know, it wasn't gonna. That episode that was in November. It wasn't gonna air again until I think March or April.
Yeah, when you said they said just take it off, go home and take it off, they won't let us do that. They won't let us do
Oh no,
that.
yeah, that was the only time I've ever seen them do that. And we were so scared, like really.
You will stay there until the wee hours in the morning getting that makeup off because they will not let you off that long.
Well, that was also the very first episode of season 2, so only 6 episodes aired. It hadn't gotten huge yet, so it wasn't. They weren't so secretive and stuff. But then when season 2 started and it was a phenomenon, yeah, we couldn't go anywhere. I mean, you can't. If you had like you wore your shoes in costume, they were gonna buy your shoes from you.
Their
You can't
shoes
wear those
now.
on set. Like they're my shoes.
So it's gone from that. It's
Yeah.
literally gone from that.
Yeah.
And what do you guys think the life expectancy of this show will be, in your general opinion?
I heard it got canceled.
Yeah, okay, tough guy.
No, I think it can go along, as long as it's a good story and it doesn't really drag, I think it'll go over a while. And I honestly think maybe the spin-off might do better because it doesn't have to be based on anything.
Yeah.
But I also know like there are episodes where it drags and the fans get so upset because like tonight's episode sucked.
But they can't wait to tune in
Oh
next
yeah,
week.
yeah, they're the
so,
first ones like,
yeah.
can't wait for next Sunday.
Yeah, I was wondering if you think that Morgan is going to come back. I have friends who think that Morgan is actually going to show back up, but I don't.
I can neither confirm nor deny that. Hey, no secrets.
Do you know of any people who you can't tell them or talk to them really about the show? Do you know of anybody like I am who's going to be really sick of Rick? I'm just really getting. I wish she got.
Some of my family members. Wow.
I know a lot of
Some of my family members are getting sick of
Yeah,
it.
it's.
I know a lot of people that way, and I have one friend who's like a diehard Rick fan. She's like, "No, he'll get better." And I'm like, no, he needs to go.
I think it's amazing that, again, comic book wise, Daryl, not to say I read
He's not
the
even
comic,
in it.
he's not even at all. It's amazing how strong a character he has become. Even I think greater than Rick, and for not even being a character to begin with.
No, what I'm excited for in tonight's episode is Abraham coming in, and in the comics he kind of ends up becoming Rick's right hand man. Well, that's kind of where Daryl's at right now. So I want to know if there's a little bit of conflict there.
Now, how have you seen the changes from the set growing as the TV show has grown? What's that been like?
It's been amazing. The first day I walked on that prison set, it used to be just a studio. It was just an empty lot, and it was a dirt road that we kind of followed through the woods that came out of the farm. And the first day I walked through this big plywood wall, I turned around and looked, and it was this steel and concrete prison. I had to look, and I looked back on the other side, and it was plywood. And then you just kind of walk around, and everybody's like touching everything, like all the little moss and stuff hanging is all fake, and we're knocking on things, and it was just the most amazing set. And it's just neat to see everything. We're walking through the insides of the prisons and looking at all the new
the lengths they go to make it look
So realistic,
apocalyptic.
yeah.
There's a guys or a whole crew of people's jobs. They're down there in Sonoy. They pull trucks across the block off streets, make it look like barriers. All those are on trailers. They move them. There's one guy's crew's jobs is to throw out trash, and then they got to pick it up the next morning. I mean, it's amazing what they do to make it. They have people down there not cut their grass for.
Put signs, thank you for not cutting your
Yeah,
grass.
please
I
don't
think
cut
it was
grass.
neat.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, one day I was sitting in the makeup trailer and they had the door open because it was a really nice day, and I saw the crew that was working on the big, I guess, generators and stuff that were in the prison. It's just this, I mean, huge steel machinery, and they're like painting it and like tweaking stuff, and all of a sudden this girl, like smaller than me, just starts pushing it along. I was like, I mean, everything's so realistic and so detailed. In the prison, like the little offices up inside the towers and stuff that nobody ever sees. If you ever get to go up there, it's so detailed. I mean, there was one that I went up inside the prison, and it looked like, you know, the guard had been attacked. Blood was splattered, there was a fight, and handprints all across the wall. And nobody's ever going to see that, but they go to so much detail and everything.
Because it also helps with the actors, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
Your show proves that not everybody has to be a Hollywood bombshell, so to speak. So with that said, you have all different kinds of people, shapes and sizes and looks. Now, you yourself, you know, answered a Facebook post for Skinny Guys. Now, in general, you know, for you folks in general, what would you say to people that were curious when they see some, I'll put my picture up, but they're never going to look at it. There's 10 million other people. How, obviously it worked for you. How would you gentlemen approach that to tell people in general that we're looking to be a part of something that they think's bigger than them?
If you don't try it, you'll never know.
Yeah, they definitely won't pick you if you don't.
Yeah, you don't. And there have been a few times where even I've done it where I was like, I don't know, I've been a zombie so much, they're not going to pick me. And I submit something and I get called in. They're like, holy crap. I remember I submitted for like a mechanic on Need for Speed, and I never got called back. And I was like, really? I could have done that.
I could have done a mechanic.
And then I ended up getting called in for one of his like main buddies, and we could hang out with these like $1 million cars and hot women. And I'm like, really? So maybe if you don't submit, it's not going to happen. So.
Exactly. And even if you submit for a certain thing, you know, it might not be the correct thing for you, but they might see your picture and pull you for something else.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll keep it on file.
Yeah,
You never know what is in their mind. You really don't.
And like you said, there's all sorts of different people, you know, on this show. It's not just all Hollywood bombshells, and I think that makes it more realistic. I think Hollywood's been saying that not everybody is drop dead gorgeous.
My ugly mug can get in there anyway.
Yes, dear. No, hey, that's what we're here for.
Personally, to you three, are there any couples you would like to see get together on the show? There's been so many that
I was thinking me and Meg. Me and Meg. Didn't work out.
like some are saying Michonne and Rick.
Rick, that's,
Well, in the comics they do.
Oh, okay.
But that's the one I want to see out in the show.
Really?
I want to see Carol and Axel. Oh wait.
Oh.
Carol and Daryl.
Yeah.
Emma and Brenda.
Yeah.
Carol
It's
and
limited when your choices are.
Yeah.
3 women and 15 dudes.
Lizzie and Carl.
Most of everyone's dead.
Yeah, I'm not really a Carl fan, but I'm not a Lizzie.
either. No, not Lizzie either.
Can't you see, I'm on your shirt.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, and the very right here, your left hand.
My left?
Yeah, right
It's
there.
right there.
Corner.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to sign it.
So let's guess, do you get a piece of that?
No.
That's what I thought.
Nothing.
But
When
it's
I signed
okay.
that piece of paper that very first day, and then all of a sudden my face started showing up on shirts and wallets and lanyards.
And you had already signed off.
I get nothing.
Beauty of show business, folks.
I have an entire room full of merch that I'm on, and all my friends are like, that must be so awesome. How much do you get for that?
No.
Wonder if you're on the poster.
I know I'm on your shirt, but you can barely see my eyes.
Are you in there anywhere?
Oh, no, that's just a generic art piece.
Does it ever hurt, any of that makeup, and even yours when they just put, stuff on you in general?
The contacts for the first time.
What's that?
The contacts for the first time.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it never really hurt for me. I mean, it's sticky sometimes, and you have to get used to that. Like when I was Flyboy, they were actually going to use like alcohol-based blood to kind of match the look of the whole movie, but they were really scared the Roger ladies flip out because she could get mean. So when they finally said that they could do it, they put this like syrup blood on me, and it's like sticky, peeling it off all night. And
Hair.
Yeah.
And because it's post-apocalyptic, they would put so much gel in my hair every night to make it look greasy and dirty, and they rub the stuff in it. I probably lost half of it every night trying to brush it out.
Don't tell me that. I envy you. I can appreciate great hair. You know, I can. I really
My
can.
character originally, I had this huge scar that ran from like here down to here. Very first, well, I think 2 times when I was first there, and they said, you know, nobody can see it because of your dang hair. So they quit putting it on.
Now, when you're talking about hurt, there have been quite a few times where a lot of us have actually been hurt on set. Because Andrew Lincoln, when he's in character and he's coming at you, that's not acting, he's coming at you. The first episode of season 3, when they're clearing out the prison, he's fighting the guys in the riot squad gear, and he knocks one down and he goes towards the fence to pull it close. I've already come out of the fence after him, and he swings the machete and he cuts my head off and he goes spinning. One of the takes, either I was too close or he was too close, and I got nailed in the head. It's a stun machete. I was knocked out on the ground. They said my leg was
Blowing
twitching.
bubbles.
Yeah, legals, I mean, on scene like that, legals there trying to figure out what to do, and medics were around me. I woke up like 10 minutes later, and I was like, why do I smell almonds? Andrew Lincoln's like completely out of character, asking if I'm okay, and apologizing, and I mean, it was like the coolest day of my life.
Now, you have a reoccurring role, so aren't you safe if you gave him a little cross check once in a while? Could you get away with that? I mean, aren't you safe, part of the family?
You know, we've thought about that times when you get hurt, but you want to come back so bad, you don't want to do anything. But it was cool because I mean, they started treating me really good that day.
I had to lead Daryl into the arena with a bag over his head when the episode where he fought Merle in the arena. One of the takes, I was dragging him in, and we just stumbled. He tripped over my foot, and I almost slammed him to the ground. I just broke Daryl. I thought that was it for me that day. I was like, oh God, I'm done. They don't want to see me break, hurt Orman. But he actually went with it really well. He's like, oh, maybe we should do that again. And they're like, no, don't do that.
I'm so sorry.
What has been like for you from a physical aspect? I mean, what has been your favorite, most physical scene for you? Because you're more visible from a human point.
I think that arena scene, I think I enjoyed tremendously because everybody was just jacked that night. I was having to drag Norman in and rough him up a little bit, and
were you like wrangling the zombie one night?
Yeah, and then right after the episode, it was a mid-season break. I had to drag in Daryl, and that was fun. The next episode we filmed, I was leading a zombie in. I was filming that one night, and Greg Nicotero was like, "Get some more oil on that guy's biceps." That was kind of fun. They had to look really.
So look at a couple of dumbbells on the side for you, just keep it pretty, keep it pumped up. Nice. Well, folks,
I was going to say,
go ahead.
everybody's seen Boondock Saints? Everybody's seen that?
I've never seen it.
Yeah, well, don't realize how that scene I was leading in Daryl. I was like, all right, Daryl, Norman's not looking good for you. He's like, yeah, I know. I was like, in shepherds we shall be. Yeah. He was like, oh, don't do that.
Well, folks, we have a couple more minutes. If you have anything on your mind, which people usually do, and then they wish they asked afterwards. So, it's on your mind. Forever say it or hold your peace, baby. So, what you got for my boys?
What page were y'all on whenever you submitted your photo? Was it just a Walking Dead page?
No. Honestly, mine, it wasn't a Facebook ad. Everybody else was. Mine, I kind of had somebody in the know, and then I was told ahead of time that they were going to be casting. It was a friend of mine who worked in wardrobe. So they gave me like the super secret email.
That's exactly how it was for me too.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the who you knew sort of thing.
Yeah, mine was, I just stumbled upon it on the internet. I guess it was Facebook. Yeah, it was just some random Facebook casting.
Yeah, sometimes they go through a few different agencies. There's I forget.
They do Extras Casting.
Yeah, Extras Casting Atlanta.
Yeah.
Work with them.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then there's another one. There's a group that kind of repost everybody's stuff. So I wish I could
Casting
remember.
Cannons, maybe.
Something. Again, mine was sent through a friend of mine who sent me an email. Said you totally can nail this part. You're like mean, imposing, bodyguard type.
A lot of people, if you have like a casting agent, they'll say, hey, I got this. be here this day for an audition. But I mean, what you can do is just like Google casting companies like for your area, and I mean all kinds will come up, and then just start liking them on Facebook and as many as you can, and follow them, and you'll see stuff pop up like crazy.
3 of us that answered that, we showed up, and it was me. It was actually a pretty good sized guy that was there. That I was like, okay, and it was one main part that was going to be. They needed all of us there, but they was going to feature the one main guy, and they were like, okay, we need one guy, we're going to put a scar on him, we're going to feature him, da da da, and they were like, I want all 3 of you to give us your best mean face, and I was like, all right, think about, this is a zombie apocalypse, what are you going to do, what happens, we want to see, what would you look like if you're going to kill somebody? All the guys are like, ah, and I was like, so.
Other than the principal actors, you know, the folks that have the recurring roles and smaller parts, do any of those guys live outside of Georgia and just come in and do the show? And
Yeah.
Norman live in?
No, he lives like in New York. Stuff outside of the Facebook cast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've had people come from, one of the guys that was with me the night that we walked into Southern Ground and told everybody I was dying. He had come all the way from Mississippi, I believe.
Yeah, I had one that came in from Colorado, and this is a girl like drove from Illinois a couple of times.
Yeah, people drive all over to be on the show.
Yeah. And most of the times they're like, you have to live in the Atlanta area. And they're like, oh yeah, I live in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to pay for the hotels.
When you're in the chair, you're one of the premiere zombies or whatever, how long is the makeup for that?
Like 20 minutes. No, I'm kidding. No, it averages like an hour and a half, unless you're doing something really special. Like I've done a bunch of like photo shoots for like Entertainment Weekly and Rolling Stone, and I was originally gonna be part of the season 3 poster, but where I was like this bald walker in a suit, and Rick was stepping on my head and shooting me and stuff. But then, like, I mean, they really hyped up how I was gonna be on this poster. And when they revealed it, there was a prison bus that he was standing on. I was like, that's supposed to be me. But yeah, that one was like 5 hours. I was in makeup for that photo shoot. It's an hour and a half. Anybody else? Anything?
Very nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to Pensacon 2014. I was a walker. Give it up for Jerrad, Dango, and Mario.
You were also my great just audition for the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got all the. Yeah, I'll see what.